Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Darshan of grade 9, here to welcome you all to the 17th online conclave.
It's surely our privilege to listen to Mr. David today. Sir, thank you so much for making time and helping us students reach better heights. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Girish. Hi, hi. I need some typing on your channels. Okay. From now on, what I want to see is some feedback. That's the only way I can communicate with you. So on the channel, I want to see, can you type if you're awake? Why, yes, and no. Please type on the channel, on the chat box, whether you're awake, yes or no. Quick, 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 quick. I need to get some feedback. I need action. That's it. Keep coming, keep coming, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Now, the other thing you need to also advise me, most of you students, I'm not addressing the parents here now. Most of you students are at home. Are you sitting in a lounge chair, fast asleep, relaxing, or are you sitting upright? Because some of you have not come on the channel, so I can't see you. You're not on the video, so I want to see, are you upright or are you lying down on a couch? Don't be shy. If you're lying down on a couch, say you're lying down on a couch. You are relaxed. Very good, Sri Ram. Fabulous, fabulous. Now, does everybody have a pen and a pad? Yes or no? Fabulous, fabulous. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about today is about education. That's all I'm going to cover. This development process we talk about is a fantastic, huge mass of information, and we can't cover it all in 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do is only crystallize one segment of it. All right. And the segment I'm going to talk about is education. I'm talking about real education, and you will get to understand what I mean by that shortly. All right. Now, you are currently studying. You're going through classes, picking up subjects, and hopefully one day get to a university, a college, or a trade school and come up with some skill sets. Yes or no? I need some answers in your chat box. Yes or no? Is that what you're doing? Fabulous. Keep coming, keep coming, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. I think there's about 60 of you on the channel. I need to see more yeses coming through. This is to keep you active. Fabulous. Now, if you are doing that, that is only one form of education. I am sorry to say that to you. That is only one form of education. Most of us miss the mainstream education. Before I go down into the actual talk, how many here like a Black Forest cake? Yes, no. Black Forest cake. How many like a Black Forest cake? Come on. Yes or no? Yes, 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 yes. Keep coming, keep coming. There's more yeses than no's. So I'm going to take the yeses as an answer here. Fabulous. Now, when you look at a Black Forest cake, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and students, everything that I'm going to talk about is in the form of stories. So you're going to now understand stories, and I'll explain to you later why I talk in the form of stories. Knowledge is transferred in the form of stories for me. Why did I ask Black Forest cake? For this one reason. Most of us in education, I'm going to relate that to a Black Forest cake. Bulk of the Black Forest cake basically is a chocolate cake. Yes or no? That's the base. In that Black Forest cake chocolate, we have inside, interweaved in there, cream, chocolate icing, and more cream. Layer after layer after layer. And then we ice the outside of the chocolate cake with chocolate icing. And then we put a couple of strawberries on top and plums on top. That's what a Black Forest cake is, basically. Now, it's different to a chocolate cake. Most of the people that said yes, why did you go for a Black Forest cake and not a chocolate cake? Because you prefer that because of the sweetness in it, the chocolate in it, the creams in it. Yes or no? Quickly, let me see some answers. Chat channel. Yep, I can see some chats coming through. Good. Now, why did you go for that? It's because of the cream, because of the strawberry, because of the plums. In education also, the same thing applies. Your chocolate cake is your education, your mainstream education, which you come through college. In this case, you come through your primary, secondary school, then you get into college and you get a degree. Now, that form of education is the mainstream education that we talk about. There are other things that are involved in addition to that. Can some of you put in there, what do you think they are? What do you think could be some of the other things? Can some of you think, what could they be? Curriculum activities, what else? Keep coming. Sports, yes. What else? Vice captain, very good. Music, yes. Extracurricular activities. Now, let me just cut it short because of time factor. Apart from mainstream education, the second form of education that we all need to look at is what we call exposure. Write this down. Exposure. I won't have time to explain a lot of this in detail. You can go back to your teachers or check in Google, which is Google, what exposure means. And I'll come and explain a little bit of it later. Now, outside the box thinking, who's put that there? Fantastic. Now, that's what we're talking about, exposure. Only when you get exposure, that's like having the cream in the chocolate cake. All right. Now, the third form of education is what I call experience. Not necessarily your own experience, but other people's experience. So you learn from other people's experience. So I classify education as 3 E's. E number 1 is your mainstream education. Your primary school, your secondary school, your tertiary school, your college, your diploma, whatever you're doing, that's your mainstream education. You come up with a piece of paper. And in most cases, that piece of paper stops there. Like our friend Girish wants to become an aeronautical engineer. He goes and gets a degree in aeronautical engineering, and that becomes his piece of paper. But Girish will become a very good pilot if he gets exposed to a lot of other things. That's where exposure comes in. We need to focus a lot on exposure, guys. Even while you're studying your grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, you need to start looking at exposure. Let me just tell you another story. One of the journalists that I work with in Indonesia, Jakarta, if you don't know these places, just quickly mark it down in your notepad and then later on go and research it. There's a town called Jakarta in Indonesia. Now, this journalist is a blind journalist. I coached him. He is one of the world's top political scientist correspondent. How does he become a world's top political scientist correspondent? Sitting at home is not going to do that. Getting a piece of paper as a correspondent is not going to do that. I learned a lot from that guy. Though I was a coach and a mentor to him, I found out, his name is Orchard. Orchard had this concept. Everywhere he went, though he was blind, everywhere he went, he had a way of recording names of people, making sure he talked a brief about them on a recorder. He will go home and he'll dictate that onto his little template tablet for the blind people. And he'll remember these names. And that's what we call network building. Network building. Now, today you're sitting on a television, you're sitting in a computer, it's being screened on a laptop via different parts of, you guys are all in one location, but it's screened to me here in Brisbane, Australia. Now, what that is happening is connection of a number of wires, cords, cables, Wi-Fi, and that's how this connection is able for me to transfer to you. That in computer terms is called networking. In people terms, we also have a thing called networking. So my advice to a lot of people, a lot of you students, as you grow, start a contact list of network. Okay? Start a contact list of network. The Orchard tells me, this blind man, blind journalist, he tells me 99.9% of all of his contacts have helped him go and do interviews with other politicians, to write articles. He writes in magazines, he writes in newspaper. That's his business practice. Now you go and do the same thing with Sundar, the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai. You will see his network was what got him to that position of becoming a CEO of Google.